So I forget where I saw this. It was when I was much younger that I think it was poll or something like that. The most commonly agreed on consensus of what the meaning of life is to be happy, right? And this influenced me a lot when I was younger because I was like, what, just generally, it was like, what a great simple answer. Like, yes, that's it. That makes sense. And to this day, colloquially, I don't know if that's still what people say. I mean, a lot's changed since I was a kid, of course, but I still do think that's a great answer on a colloquial level. We all know what people mean when they say be happy. But whether because of I overthought it as a kid or I misunderstood it, I didn't understand what they meant by be happy. And maybe that's why I'm coming here to make this, because I think I do think that I still meet people that I think have this conception of happiness, and I don't like the way it's worded. Is why I'm here, to be honest, why I'm making this video about this. Because I think happiness is fleeting. I don't know the dictionary definition of happy versus content versus, fulfilled, satisfied. I don't know the dictionary definition of these words. They definitely have colloquial, we all have a connotation with these words, right? We would say that to be happy is to be giddy, to be in the moment, to be genuinely up. To be content is more of a general satisfaction. We have these conceptions, right? Taking way too long to get to the point here. And I think that when we say be happy, I think it plays into the wrong end of these conceptions that we have, because I don't think the point of life is to be happy. I think that's actually, one, impossible, and two, not what you want. Have you guys ever been really happy? I'm talking you're over the moon for an extended period of time. For me, I can think back to when I was in high school, and something really good is going on in your life, stuff like that, right? That's times in my life I can think back to that's a time I was so happy. And I think back to those times in my life, and it's strange because the happiness was empty. And I think that's why I reject this idea of this being the meaning of life, because I reject the idea that happiness is something to strive for in general, because I think happiness is an emptier emotion than contentness and fulfillment. As I was getting older, trying to figure out what do I want to do with my life, what's going on with all this, all this life stuff, I always was well, nothing makes me happy, because I had this idea that happiness was it has to be something you love doing 24/7. You can wake up and do it till the second you collapse, and you're over the moon. You're still up all day. And because of this conception that, again, I imposed on myself, I'm not going to deny that, I was no, there's nothing. And I see a lot of people saying that still. I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, and he was no, I don't have a passion. I'm not going to, well, no, I am going to put words in his mouth. I know him. I've known him for years. I know he has passions. I just think that he has this conception in his head of these passions need to be so intense and so explicit that they exist in this vacuum of I could do this homeless or employed or rich or poor and be the happiest ever. And again, I think this is sort of a bad conception, because I think it's stopping people from doing what they love, because I think it gives a lot of people the wrong conception of what love means. As I was getting older, trying to figure out what do I want to do, what do I really like, I didn't know. I just knew what I couldn't stop doing, right? And that's what made sense to me. I was okay, I have always drawn, I've always written, I've always read. Obviously these things have led to where I'm sitting right now in large part. So I had these ideas, but I was there's nothing that actually makes me happy though. I was the best I'll ever do in my life is to be generally content. And again, this is an emotion I've heard echoed by so many people at this point. And I think that, like, one, it's a misconception that there's something that's going to make you infinitely happy, that's going to, like, this is the thing that makes me happy, this is what I'm going to do forever, right? Because I just don't think that's how things work. I also think it's a misconception to say, that, like, happiness is what you want to chase, because as I was saying, I think it's empty. When I remember back to those times where I was super happy, I don't think I ever finished this thought, actually. When I remember back to those times, they were some of the least productive times of my life. And of course, productivity is not a thing to chase. You know, productivity is not the point of life. But it's certainly, you know, if you're just sitting around all day, like, we all need something to do, you know what I mean? Hopefully that work can be something that fulfills you, like what I'm doing right now, that fulfills me, that I do, you know, and upload for all you each morning. But we all can agree we need something to do. Like, as much as I don't think that, like, I'm sympathetic to the idea that, like, the way that all our jobs work is, like, you know, alienating us, like, it's kind of like the toil of modern day society is too much. I do understand that idea, and I even agree with it in large part, but I do also would say that, like, we need something. Like, it's not like the alternative to the modern day corporate American system is not like we all just start hanging out all the time and, like, smoking a bunch. No, it's that we work on our passions, right? And that's why I would say that, like, you know, those times where I was super happy were the least productive. I wasn't working on my passions. I wasn't doing what I loved because I felt, you know, it's not that I was satisfied, it's that I was tranquilized. And I think that's really dangerous because I think that if, let's say that continued for, you know, a year, right? Happiness is by definition, I think, finite. I don't think there's such thing as a infinite happiness that can last forever. Honestly, maybe there is. Sounds too good to be true to me, though. I think fulfillment, contentment, these things are more long-term, right? These things are long-spanning states of being. Happiness is an emotion. Happiness is right now, and it will end at some point. So let's say that I did have the privilege of being happy for a year straight. Where would I be when that year's over? I would have nothing but memories and, you know, longing and all these things. I think contentness and fulfillment for me comes from building something. So, like, that's what I want to be doing. You know, I want to be working on a project. I'm always working on something, you know, here and my job and, like, what I do when I'm not here, you know. Like, I think these are essential parts of life that you miss when happiness is your goal, because you're chasing a fleeting moment, you're chasing a high. And once you get it, you will be empty if you experience that high for too long. I think it's almost like a drug, you know, in the way that nobody would ever say that a drug addict is a happy, fulfilled person as much as they might, you know, experience happiness when they're doing that drug. I think saying that somebody is happy is a misnomer because that happiness will soon end and they are not left with fulfillment most of the time. Again, I'm speaking in general terms here. They're left with the want to be happy once again. And I think that's why I think that's dangerous. I think what people need to do more is chase long-term fulfillment. You know, this is a great example. I do this every day. I'm so fulfilled by it. I don't always want to do it though. Like, every day when I come here to record, I'm not sitting here like, I am the happiest I've ever been to be sitting in this cube painting. I enjoy it and I gain long-term fulfillment from it. And I honestly, you know, I'm sure at some point I'll be taking a break for, you know, a day-long break, a week-long break. I mean, I have before where I've gone away for a little bit. But, like, I don't think I'll stop because I do gain fulfillment from it. The same way that, like, ever since I was a kid, as much as, like, I'll go a week without drawing because I'm busy. I'll go a week without writing because I'm busy. I will never stop because it's just, like, part of your nature. And that's what I think is the meaning of life, like, actually. Or my meaning of life, I guess. I think it's subjective. But that's what I feel my meaning of life is. Is, like, find what you can't stop doing that brings you this general sense of fulfillment and do that until you can't anymore, until it's it works, I guess. I don't know what that really means. I mean, I'm not here to solve the meaning of life. I'm here to tell you what I don't think it is. So I guess, probably shouldn't bite off more than I can chew, but that's why I think it's a damaging idea that happiness is the goal, because it's no different than chasing a high, I think. I think general fulfillment is the goal, and you're going to have to do a bunch of stuff you don't like to do that, I love recording these, don't love editing them, don't love making short-form content. Part of the game, though. It's part of what you gotta do, Same way that as a kid, I've always loved reading, but, when I gotta read a precursor text to reading one I really want to read, don't enjoy that precursor text, but it's necessary, And I think that's more what fulfillment looks like. Doing things that work and that you need to do, but that maybe you don't always want to do. This is the painting. I failed in what I wanted to do yesterday. One, it's Paint Talk 150. It's supposed to be doing a sphere. For those of you who don't know, I do a sphere every 25 episodes, so we'll check it. Didn't happen today, because we're in the middle of a series right now of these deconstructed paintings still, and I don't know, I don't want to stop on these. I'm really enjoying doing these. So one, I think this is too complete. I think I did too much actual line work on it. I love the brown background. The brown background's real cool, I think. I think you can just see the skeleton, you can't feel it, which is what I don't like. I think I covered too much of it up for the sketching nature of it to actually work. I also think, so I wanted to do the head tilted and the eyes almost disconnected from the head, just enough to give you a little bit of unease. These just look like they're connected. This just looks like a guy. It's cool. I think it's a visually appealing image, in my opinion, but I don't think this is good, and I don't think it's what I was going for. So it's fine, it's whatever. Go follow the Instagram. I'll have a reel up at the end of the week and a post up of all the paintings so you can look at these in detail and tell me what you hate about them. And until next time, guys, gals, and pals, my name is Max Dice. This has been Paint Talk episode 150. I'm here every morning, painting and talking with you all.